am I the bad guy for telling my birth sister that she does not have the right to make demands? At 27 female was given up for adoption at birth by my birth parents. I was adopted into a family where my parents had already adopted my older sister Grace 29 female, and 3 years after me they also adopted my younger sister Cassie 24 female. Details before I continued, both my sisters were given their first names by their biological mothers and families. My parents kept the original first names for both because I felt it was important to allow them that connection to their biological families. I was not given a name by my birth parents. My parents also kept some items for my sister's birth families, but nothing was left for me, so I didn't have that growing up anyway. About 5 years ago, I learned that I had a birth sister 25 female who was 2 years younger than me. So I was 22, and she was 20 when she reached out. She'd been told all about me from day one. She knew existed. They called me her sister, and they made up this story that I was basically stolen by my parents and they hadn't wanted to give me up. So when she reached out, she intended to shine a light on the truth and save me from these people. I told her that I wasn't interested in a relationship and that I didn't believe her parents' story. She ended up with a different story from her maternal grandparents, but chose to believe her parents anyway. I would believe her grandparents' version a lot more. She begged me to have a relationship with her. She said she always wanted her sister in her life and pleaded with me for days about not shutting out the relationship. I told her I really wasn't interested in the relationship she was seeking, and she said she would take anything, even very occasional DMs to each other. In the last year, she has been insufferable. She has brought up my parents changing my name, even though I was never given a name by hers, and I've told her this. She dismisses the fact that my parents didn't name 2 out of the 3 of us because they kept the original names and believes they chose not to do the same for me. She also made up this idea that her parents left me with a blanket itch. I replied to her very infrequently because she gets on my nerves, and I have told her this now. I'm pretty much done with her. It started with me posting about a weekend trip with my sister's birth sister, me saying that I really shouldn't say things like that and I need to acknowledge her on social media as my real sister. She told me to edit my posts right away, or better yet, create a new post acknowledging it. She sent me a bunch of short messages, and when I said no, she told me I chose other stolen kids over my real flesh and blood. This is when I really snapped, and I told her that she doesn't have the right to make demands, and continuing that she is not, in fact, my real sister. I told her I never wanted her in my life and only gave in because of her begging, and she still had the nerve to try and demand something from me. She accused me of being evil and cruel to her. All I did was speak the truth, so am I the bad guy? Honestly, RP, she's 25 years old. If she can't understand that you don't want a relationship with her, it's probably in your best interest to drop her and just move on. Block her. Block your biological parents. At least the maternal grandparents were honest with her and told her something close to the truth. If she chose to ignore that, that's on her. You shouldn't have to put up with her, and you shouldn't have to put up with this behavior. You get 0 out of 5 bad guys. Your sister gets 1 out of 5 bad guys for just being really immature and petty and not leaving you alone when you've asked several times. Your parents get a minimum of 1 out of 5 bad guys just for lying to your sister. If they actually abandoned you with no reason when you were born, well, then it goes up. But your adoptive parents sound like angels, so they get a solid 6 out of 5 good guys. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It would really help me out. That's all for today, and catch you later.